Hey guys, I'm Josh and I lift things, and I'm here to talk about the new miracle weight loss drug. At the time of recording, 70% of all American adults are overweight, and 40% of all American adults are obese. The leading cause of death in the United States is heart failure, with obesity and being overweight accounting for anywhere from like 10 to 20% of those. As for children, 1 in 6 is obese, and about 1 in 3 are overweight. This has plenty of ramifications for the future, the worst of which being the epigenetic factor of passing along certain proclivities or health factors to your kids, just further perpetuating the issue. Before I continue, I do not want any talks in the comments or my social medias about fat acceptance, body positivity, body neutrality, fat phobia, or anything like that. There are plenty of reasons that someone may be overweight that aren't just due to pure laziness. The biggest two that come to mind for me are stuff like poverty or education. So just don't be a dickhead in the comments, please. But on the other side of that same coin, some people are just lazy. You know how everyone's always talking about wanting that magic pill, that magic supplement that will shed body fat without ever having to worry about strict dieting, caloric deficits, hunger, grueling cardio, hard work, and everything else? Well, that pill is here. Sort of. But as with most things in life, it turns out you may not be able to have your cake and eat it too. Get it? Cake? We're talking about weight loss stuff. Moving on. I am here to talk about the new miracle drug, Tirzepatide. If you follow any fitness influencers or fitness related forums, you maybe have heard about this already. But if you haven't heard about it, let me explain it here. Tirzepatide is a GIP and a GLP-1 receptor agonist. So these are some big terms you're probably not familiar with, he says, pretending that he knew before writing the script. So let me break this down for you. So what are they? GIP and GLP-1 are the two incretin hormones, or at least the two known incretin hormones. And Tirzepatide is the first dual incretin mimetic. This kind of means that they can trick your body into thinking that you have more of it than you do. GIP stands for glucose-dependent insulinotropic polypeptide, or other people just say the gastric inhibitory polypeptide. When you consume food, your small intestine creates GIP. It enters the bloodstream, travels to your pancreas, it then chills there, working with nutrients, especially glucose, and basically helps ensure that insulin is released. Insulin sends nutrients to your liver, your fat, your muscle, where they kind of just chill till you end up using them. You've probably heard of insulin before, usually in relation to insulin sensitivity or maybe even diabetes. GIP also has the side benefit of slowing gastric emptying. This basically means that your stomach doesn't put waste into your small intestine as fast. This can make you feel full quicker and make you feel full for longer. You maybe see where that has benefit in a weight loss context. Now, GLP-1 is glucagon-like peptide 1. This too seems to slow the emptying of the stomach. These aren't the only thing that these pills can do. A lot of people see improved cholesterol numbers or general heart health, but it's kind of unclear if that's the drug doing it or if it's the weight loss that these drugs cause. Obviously, weight loss is pretty powerful for fixing your heart markers. There have been tons of medication. You probably heard of the glutides before. These were GLP-1 agonists. They did a very good job at helping people lose weight, especially those with diabetes. There's been other ways to try to mess with the GIP receptor, either antagonizing it or agonizing it. There's even a really cool paper where someone used a vaccine to try to antagonize the GIP receptor, but I'm kind of out of my depth there, I don't know. But regardless, Tirzepatide is the first GIP and GLP-1 receptor agonist. It's pretty revolutionary. How revolutionary is it? Extremely. I seriously encourage you to go look at some of the studies that are coming out using Tirzepatide. I'll leave them linked down in the description. But people are losing ridiculous amounts of weight. But of course, this comes with some potential downsides, right? Like, as I mentioned earlier, I said it was a magic pill. I was lying. You have to inject it. It's just a subcutaneous injection. You do it once a week, but that's not great for a lot of people. I mean, some people inject insulin, GH, L-carnitine, B6, whatever, not to mention straight up steroids. But for others, this poses a huge barrier to entry. Not to mention, since the main mechanic of gaining weight is making it harder to overeat, that could be detrimental for someone that's actively trying to build muscle in the gym. Let's say you're doing a lot of cardio or a lot of resistance training, you're going to find it a hard time to potentially recover. That's not really an issue for someone who's 400 pounds, but for someone just looking for a general weight loss pill, which this is not that, it could be a problem. Besides the worry of not even being able to get enough calories in to recover, what about your micronutrient goals? Sure, there's supplementation, but it could be a little bit of a danger. But what about actual side effects? It comes with those too. The main downfall that a lot of people seem to experience is going to be nausea, diarrhea, constipation, vomiting. This makes sense. You're messing with... Just going to interrupt my video like that. This makes sense. You're going to be... This makes sense. You're slowing gastric emptying, so you may feel a little weird. What can I say? They seem to be able to cause low blood sugar, which again makes sense. You're kind of messing with insulin, but those are kind of the tame ones. They are not recommended if you have family history of medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia. The reason for this is, in some lab studies, rats were being shown to develop thyroid cancer. Obviously, rats are not people, but that doesn't mean it's not worth looking into. They aren't recommended if you have pancreatitis, as they can maybe cause pancreatitis. Again, this makes sense. I've seen some concerns that this could even lead to like exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which basically means your pancreas is so messed up that it's not producing the digestive enzymes that you need. This would further upset the vomiting, diarrhea, and all the other GI issues, but I haven't seen any good links there yet. Some people are straight up allergic. There's been some pretty bad immunoresponses to these drugs, not to mention just basic rashes or infections near injection sites. And I've also seen some reports that it could increase the rate of bone fractures and breast cancer. I'm not sure how real these are or if they're a real concern or what, but it's what I've seen. That's why this drug is currently in the 3rd round of FDA testing, not just for people with diabetes, but for people with just metabolic syndrome in general, people who are overweight or obese. Hopefully that should be able to suss everything out, but you never know. I also have to say, some people think that this is like an end-all be-all for weight loss. Sure, someone may feel less hungry, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they will stop overfeeding. Or what if someone achieves weight loss, rightfully quits taking the drug, but never made any real lifestyle factors or mental changes, and then they just gain the weight back? While these points are all true, it doesn't mean that this drug isn't useful. It just has to be paired with proper intervention, be it therapy, education, whatever. Everything being said, this is revolutionary. This doesn't just melt fat away like DNP. This doesn't increase BMR by upping your heart rate like caffeine or ephedrine or other stimulants would do. This doesn't massively kill your heart, at least not immediately, obviously, like a beta antagonist would, like clenbuterol. This isn't some invasive bariatric surgery. This is a drug that makes it easier for people to adhere to caloric deficits, which in turn can help insulin sensitivity, leptin and ghrelin sensitivity or intolerance, fix your lipid panels, fix cholesterol, potentially liver enzymes, and quite a bit more. But there's a quote from a Mr. Eric Topol which I think says it best. The problem of discontinuation of the drug is big, since there are limited data and the likelihood is that the weight will be regained unless there are substantial changes in lifestyle. The cost of these drugs will clearly and profoundly exacerbate inequities, since they are eminently affordable by the rich, but the need is strong among the indigent. However, we cannot miss that this represents one of the most important, biggest medical breakthroughs in history. That is something I've not touched on yet. The price. It's about $1,000 a month. Now, with most Americans not even having enough in savings to cover their ass if they were out of work for a month, it's probably fair to say that a lot of people have trouble affording this. But it's a very real possibility that insurance will cover it. If you live in the EU or other more reasonable places, then this isn't even really a concern for you. But again, we aren't even really over the hill anyways because it's still in testing. Though for strictly treating diabetes, it's been on the market for about a year and has seen great success. Time will tell if there's a more sinister side to these compounds. Guys, that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed this and you learned something. The future's looking bright for weight loss treatment, but we're still quite a ways. If you made it this far and did learn something, you owe me a like and a sub. If I messed something up because this was completely new to me and I had to learn a lot just to write this script, please leave a comment below or let me know in my Discord. If you like this type of content, you can follow all of these socials. You can find the links to those and the Discord in the description. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.